Welcome to the Anonymous American Podcast. I'm going to cover a wide variety of current events and news in this show, along with opinions from me. So it'll be a bit of an opinion piece, but it's going to be purely based on actual news articles, videos, recordings, facts that have been found, and ongoing things that have developed. And really, the first thing I would like to cover is just part of the reason why I'm doing this show is mainly the attack that's on our First Amendment rights. A lot of it comes down to censorship, and I'm going to be showing you some stuff that's been recently developing that is definitely a bit shocking and surprising on how far people are willing to go to limit First Amendment rights. But also remember to like, subscribe, and share if you do like the content. So I would say go ahead and hold off on that until the end of the video to see if you do like it. If you'd like to, you can also donate to my Ethereum wallet below. Email me at anonymousamericanpodcast@protonmail.com. Or you can also join me on Gab, the new social media platform that actually stands for free speech, surprisingly. But I'll go ahead and play you this first clip from Project Veritas. They get full credit for this. This was about the guy working for PBS, and this gives you an idea of a lot of people in the Beltway type of environment in Washington, D.C., but it goes beyond that. This is the type of attitude people in New York, and when I mean New York, I don't mean upstate. I mean New York City, Los Angeles, Southern California. These are views I have heard people tell me because they think I'm liberal. And they'll go ahead and tell me, oh, this is, thinking this is a good thing, not as a joke. Some of these people truly do mean what they say. And it makes you wonder, is this how it felt when Hitler started taking power? But here's the clip.
And when Biden wins, we'll go through all the Republican voters and Homeland Security will take the children away. How about that? And we'll put them into re-education camps.
Amen.
In these times, which are unique, Trump is close to Hitler.
What are we going to do if we don't like it? It doesn't
Go to the White House and throw Molotov cocktails. These kids who are growing up knowing nothing but Trump, for 4 years, you gotta wonder what else they're going to be like. Are we raising a generation of intolerant, horrible people, horrible kids? Enlightenment camps.
Right.
They're nice. They have Sesame Street characters in the classroom, and they watch PBS all day.
I'm going to go home and watch it.
Dumb. Most people are dumb. It's good to live in a place where people are, educated and know stuff. And can you imagine if you lived in one of these other towns or states where everybody's just stupid? What's great is COVID is spiking in all the red states right now. So that's great.
Why do you think so?
Because either those people that come out to vote for Trump, those are red states, or a lot of them are sick and dying. PBS has real news, but CNN doesn't have real news anymore. It's just a talking head talking about Trump all day long. I can't stand it. Every once in a while I look at Fox News and it makes me want to throw up after 5 minutes. It's all this Joe Biden shit now, all the Joe Biden scandal, which is all made up. It's all ridiculous. And they are pushing them so hard. It's unbelievable.
So do you guys just ignore it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the first go through, maybe just sit there and listen to it, but then the second or third time, really read what he's saying. And the same guy who's talking about re-education camps is comparing Trump to Hitler, and I'm trying to comprehend that. How do you talk about things that Hitler actually did and talk about this in a quasi-serious way? A guy who works very high up for PBS, a part of the whole Washington D.C. type of environment, and you say that, and the very same person looks like in the same venue, not that much longer after, compares Trump to Hitler. That to me makes no sense. But I would recommend watching that a couple times and getting. I'm not saying every person who votes Democrat, every person who's a liberal, every person who lives in a big city acts or talks or respects this, but this really shows you and gives you a good mindset. This is what the hardcore base is. and the hardcore base really has a lot of control and has people in these positions like at PBS. Think about how many people who work in Washington D.C. with or in government buildings, three-letter agencies, other stuff like that. What are their views? What do you think their views are going to be? It's going to be something very similar to that. And I'll go ahead and show you the confrontation video again that Project Veritas did with this guy. I would also say that PBS did fire him at the very least, but that's like the very least you could do. If you want to talk about doing things to make people more culturally appropriate with each other, I mean, a big thing right there is probably telling these people, definitely in DC and many other places like that around the country, you can't. You're talking about half the nation when you're talking about doing something like that. But I'll go ahead and show you that clip of him confronting him about it. And again, this is Project Veritas. All credit goes to them, and I'd recommend definitely subscribing to them. And anytime they post a video, it is something worth actually watching, listening to, getting involved in. But definitely go ahead and take a look at this here.
Michael Beller.
Who is that with no mask?
My name is James O'Keefe. Is this seat taken? We have you on tape talking about the need for Molotov cocktails.
I would like to get enough people that we could encircle the whole area and gets out in his limo, just encircle the whole thing and keep
What are we gonna do if we don't like it? It doesn't.
go to the White House and throw Molotov cocktails.
Moderate Democrats to independents, libertarians, even people of any of the extreme parties like Green Party and stuff will probably be like, we can't stand for this. This is insanity. And then going on with the censorship train here, let's go ahead and show you another Project Veritas clip. Sorry, there is more than just Project Veritas. This can be the same as the second clip. I'm not going to show the whole thing from beginning to end, but I'm going to give you bits and pieces, and I'd recommend you go ahead and check out Project Veritas's full video on it. Again, just go to their channel, and I'll have it linked below. But this gives you an insight on Twitter, and with this whole thing going on, it's pretty obvious there's a cabal going on between Twitter, Facebook, a lot of social media, keeping people out and free speech incredibly limited through basically antitrust, which is why I'm finding this absolutely hilarious that for years I've talked about antitrust for these companies, and a lot of people just don't freak out about it. Some of the biggest things I've seen is just privacy concerns left and right. People have voluntarily paid for these devices that you stick in your homes that record everything. And, if you have no problem with it, I guess that's your own prerogative, but you can't do that while at the same time. So remember, at the same time, you have duct tape over your laptop's, webcam, or you're freaking about your Windows-based PC, and it's like, yes, Microsoft has a lot of telemetry in Windows now, but your phone's been able to do so much more and has grabbed so much more than just that. And a lot of these platforms as well, or have as well too. And it's getting quite insane, and I'm surprised how far they really have decided to take it. Definitely just all of a sudden like this very quickly. I'll go ahead and show this clip here. This is the one of Twitter from the CEO, Jack Dorsey here, and go ahead and see how this turns out.
You should always feel free to express yourself in whatever format, manifestation feels right. We do intend to do a full retro, as I said in my note. It is going to take some time. And then the other thing, just to close out a little bit, we are focused on one account right now, but this is going to be much bigger than just one account, and it's going to go on for much longer than just this day, this week, the next few weeks. It's going to go on beyond the inauguration. We have to expect that. We have to be ready for that. So the focus is certainly on this account and how it ties to real world violence, but also we need to think much longer term around how these dynamics play out over time.
Accounts to these social media places. I mean, everyone's got a Facebook account, everyone's got a Twitter, it seems like. I mean, when you tell somebody, oh, I don't use Facebook, they just look at you weird, like you're someone who just told them, oh, I don't have a landline phone, or I don't have a phone, and they just look at you like, how do you live in the 21st century? But that's just how it works. That's just how it is. And hopefully we get more of a migration to other platforms, and definitely people being forced to have to leave, and hopefully their friends, family, and other people get involved, which is why, again, I push Gab social media so hard right now. I mean, if you do try doing it, I will warn you, they don't have the capacity to handle what they've got right now, but they are adding more and more capacity, and it's becoming more and more usable, I would say, every day. But do I would say anticipate not to have the most seamless experience right now, but it will get better. And I mean, at least it's free speech, and I mean, I would say you have to at least stand for that. But yeah, definitely check them out. It's insane, but how he just goes on about how we're gonna have to keep doing this. You can't brainwash 300 plus million people. You can't force them all to think the same. So you have to kind of, just like in China, just like in lots of these countries where there's censorship. The censorship never ends. It's not we go through a wave, we purge everyone, it's over. It continues and continues and continues, and there's really just no way of really stopping it. So I definitely please check out these videos and their full length that I've shown you here. Replay that first one over and over again. Just listen to what these people are saying. They're saying this pretty much almost out in the open. It's not out in the open, but it's amongst their group, amongst their half of the country, amongst their big city folk and their beltway type attitude, the big city type thing. And this is how they view the rest of the nation. This is how they continue to view the nation. And it's one of those things that, like, if you caught one of your own friends or like a coworker, a family member, or even, I mean, if you thought of like your own child saying something like that, you would be half tempted to just slap them and then just go like, what were you thinking? And definitely for a child, show them the history of what happened in the past, and tell them that you're too young to, and it's stupid to understand, but it's just, the thing is, when you deal with these people, these are grown adults. These are people who should understand the ramifications of their actions and understand the basics of what's right and wrong. You don't need, all these things to morally tell you what's right or wrong. It's basically, don't do to others what you would want done to yourself. Keep and retain that individuality amongst everyone and the masses. There's no collectivism. It's not the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, because then you'll always find needs that whatever reason to do that with. And it's an ongoing cycle. It's socialism. It's a lot of that stuff. But yeah, it's just getting crazy. But some more clips here.
Well, one of the things that we pride ourselves here at Just the News and at Real America's Voice is the fact that we are talking to people outside of the elite Beltway bubble here. But there is a bubble dweller here. You've probably seen him on CNN, Jake Tapper. Watch this.
Congressman Brian Mast, a Republican from Florida, who lost his legs, by the way, fighting for democracy abroad. Although I don't know about his commitment to it here in the United States.
Just imagine how that would going the other way. That is absolutely just outright insane. I couldn't believe that. Just like the veteran who was killed on the 6th and shot and killed. I considered that a murder. She didn't have a weapon or anything, and everyone's too afraid to quell any uprisings that are involving cities being burned down. And I know I've seen that in person. These people trying to act like it didn't happen or it's not that bad. I saw it. I live in one of those cities and I saw it in person, and I could not believe that actually happened in a city I was in. But like, you can't get anyone to denounce that. But let's go ahead and this veteran who fought for the First Amendment right, and actually lost body parts to it. I mean, it's at that point you would think you'd be smart enough to go, this is just not, you can't touch this. But no, apparently you can. You can go way too far with it. And it's just, even though that was just a little snippet, just imagine saying something like that under your breath or something, to a Democrat. And if you did that, like, you would just be assaulted. And on top of that, a lot of conservatives and normal people would have thrown you under the bus just as quickly. No sane human being would be willing to say anything like that. I mean, anyone who's respectable at all. And it's just, like I said, it's this continuing pattern, as you can see, and it's just denouncing people regardless of what they've done for the nation, if they are a criminal or not, if they've done anything wrong. It just, no one cares anymore. But I guess to go ahead and kind of start bringing this more to a close here, since the video is getting a bit long. It's a bit of a long, nice Sunday edition here, so really looking forward to hopefully doing some long Sunday editions, really recap a lot of the week stuff, get more into it, really chew the fat and try to get more into it on just everything that happened in the week. Because I know some people, they can't, you can't watch this stuff every day, because one, you're going to lose your sanity like I have, or you just don't have the freaking time for it, and I understand that. But definitely, here's a good clip I think you should definitely watch. That's just hilarious. It's a Representative Douglas Lee LaMalfa, if I have said that correctly. I am terrible with pronouncing names. He is California's 1st congressional district. He represents them, and he had a pretty awesome thing to say. I wish more not even conservatives, just more people in the House and the Senate, these representatives would start actually representing more of the people and start talking like this and start pointing out this ludicrous, insane things that we've been saying that's been going on. But yeah, here's the clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second annual impeachment show extravaganza, brought to you by the censors and left-wing media, the fact-checked ministers of shutdown and big tech, and the Democrat Party. Today, the second annual impeachment of President Trump isn't really about actual words spoken at a rally. No. This is all about, Madam Speaker, the unbridled hatred of this president. You use any extreme language in any process to oppose the core of what he has really fought for. You hate him because he is pro-life, strongest ever. You hate him for fighting for the freedom of our religions to not be persecuted by unfair mandates and limitations on speech. You hate him for not subscribing and shackling us with the religion of climate change and one-sided Paris Accords. You hate him for Israel. You hate him for defending our borders. You hate him for letting families and small businesses keep what they earn, for trying to keep the agents of government off their back. You hate him for putting America first, which is what I thought we do when we swear the oath. No, this shabby show isn't about a threat to our republic. This is the impeachment and muting of at least half of the American people. This is shameful and abuse of a process.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from New York.
Give the gentleman additional 20 seconds.
The gentleman from Ohio yields you
Madam
another
Speaker,
20 seconds. 30.
I pray people of all stripes wake up to this spectacle and exercise their rights to put a stop to it through free speech and through fair elections. I yield back.
And I guess, I'm going to go ahead and end off the video here, but I really want to start trying to end the videos here and really talk about, just because a lot of people I don't think understand, or not understand, they just don't know. They haven't been exposed to a lot of American history, and you should really read the Constitution. If you haven't, read it. You can read it multiple times in a night if you really tried. It's a very short read. If you had to read lots of different, horrible, terrible stories that the government makes you read in public schools, you can read this. And this is a lot more valuable to you and would give you a much better understanding of how this nation was founded and the reasons behind it, too, when you start looking behind the Founding Fathers, which is why I would like to read off some quotes, not sound too preachy or anything. But here's one from John Adams. He was an American attorney. He was one of the Founding Fathers. He also served as the second President of the United States from 1797 to 1801. And one quote I really admire him for, and I think one of his best quotes, is, but a constitution of government, once changed from freedom, can never be restored. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. Really showing how it is very difficult. Once you have it, once you lose it, it's not easy to get back. Which is why the Constitution exists, and which is why we are a constitutional republic. Again, that quote, but a constitution of government, once changed from freedom, can never be restored. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. John Adams, the second President of the United States of America, and one of our original Founding Fathers. Please be sure to remember to like, subscribe, donate if you would like. Definitely check out Gab, even if you're not going to check out mine. Definitely sign up for it. Just please be very be very forgiving in the next couple of weeks, because they've had insane capacity. It's just, and right now with AWS, Amazon Web Services closing Parler, that's insane. Just more of these insane stories. Like, I'm not doing PayPal donations, and I highly doubt I'm going to be on YouTube for very long. If this ever took off on YouTube, I'm screwed. And monetization, stuff like that, it's just not really possible, which is why if there is a creator out there that is willing to accept donations via crypto and you have the accessibility to do it, whether if you just mine a card, just have one card, your graphics card in your computer mining for that content provider, do it for a week or two for them and dump some anonymous crypto, or just go ahead and be able to pay for someone in exchange and give it to them. It is the best way to help secure them, and it's a very great decentralized way to be able to help these people. And I'm not saying just me or anything. There's great content creators out there. Timcast, you may not agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything he says, but he's a nice, respectable human being. Just like many of them out there, independent journalists, they want the facts, they want reality. They don't want this insanity that just in this video alone has really, this is the tip of the iceberg. When you start digging more into it, it gets more and more insane, and it would take me hours to divulge everything that's happened just in the past month or two. let alone the past week. I mean, it's been crazy. But definitely like, subscribe, leave a comment. Go ahead and if you'd like to email me, it's anonymous American Podcast at protonmail.com. It's down below. I'm going to have links to a lot of the stuff I've sourced, where I got them from and stuff like that. I definitely love the Citizen Free Press. That's a great one to also donate to or contribute to if you can. But yeah, definitely go ahead and shoot a message, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.